Hello, and welcome to the Knowing Show. I am your host, Christene Marie. This is where we talk about all four intelligences that cultivate and make the human being, the intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and physical intelligences. For the majority of our lives, we have overemphasized and over-indexed on the intellectual intelligence, with sometimes on Sundays, we cultivate the spiritual, or whatever day of the week is your spiritual practice. And we will sometimes occasionally cultivate the physical, some of us to more degree than another based on our frequency in the gym or our attention to what we're eating. And it's very rare that we are cultivating all four in concert with each other and in equal measure, holding weight and giving honor to each one so that each can operate as, I like to think of it as kind of a director in the boardroom. Each one has data, each one contains knowledge, and the goal is that we actually tap into and cultivate each intelligence so that we ourselves, when we are engaging with the world around us, we're bringing our whole and very best potential self. So that when we're engaging with our children, we're pulling in the right amount of emotional intelligence and emotional presence so that they really feel that connection with us. When we're in the boardroom or the bedroom, we know where and how to balance both of these aspects, where it's leading with the intellect, leading with the emotion, leading with the physical or spiritual, because every single one of us has the opportunity to cultivate each one of these. And so what separates us, I was with a little boy last night and he was talking about, what makes humans human. And it was just so interesting hearing an 11-year-old explain the fact that we have a complex brain where animals don't. But the thing is that we don't take the time to really cultivate the entirety of our complex brain, much less the rest of our being. And so that is why we join every single day on the Knowing Show to cultivate that, but also here in the chat, specifically on YouTube. Sometimes we'll get it, people chatting on Facebook. But for the most part, we gather on YouTube and we really join into the discussion around the topic for the day. Specifically in the mornings, we talk about A Course in Miracles. And then in the evenings or afternoons, we'll join either solo on the weekdays with just me or with guests. So I am so happy you're here. We're going to go ahead and get started with a preamble of some of the preceding lessons for A Course in Miracle leading up to today's lesson, which is 128. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the preceding lessons for A Course in Miracles. Lesson 100, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. Lesson 101, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Lesson 102, I share God's will for happiness for me. Lesson 103, God being love is also happiness. Lesson 104, I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Lesson 105, God's peace and joy are mine. Lesson 106, let me be still and listen to the truth. Lesson 107, truth will correct all errors in my mind. Lesson 108, to give and to receive are one in truth. Lesson 109, I rest in God. Lesson 110, I am as God created me. And then we jump ahead to lesson 121, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Lesson 122, forgiveness offers everything I want. Lesson 123, I thank my Father for his gifts to me. Lesson 124, let me remember I am one with God. Lesson 125, in quiet, I receive God's word today. Lesson 126, all that I give is given to myself. Lesson 127, there is no love but God's. And today's lesson, lesson 128, the world I see holds nothing I want. The world you see holds nothing that you need to offer you, nothing that you can use in any way, nor anything at all that serves to give you joy. Believe this thought and you are saved from years of misery, from countless disappointments, and from hopes that turn to bitter ashes of despair. No one but must accept this thought as true if he would leave the world behind and soar beyond its petty scope and little ways. Each thing you offer here is but a chain that binds you to the world, and it will serve no other end but this. For everything must serve the purpose you have given it until you see a different purpose there. The only purpose worthy of your mind this world contains is that you pass it by without delaying to perceive some hope where there is none. Be you deceived no more. The world you see holds nothing you want. Escape today the chains you place upon your mind when you perceive salvation here. For what you value, you make part of you as you perceive yourself. All things you seek to make your value greater in your sight limit you further. Hide your worth from you and add another bar across the door that leads to true awareness of yourself. Let nothing that relates to body thoughts delay your progress to salvation, nor permit temptation to believe the world holds anything to hold you back. You want to hold you back. Nothing is here to cherish. Nothing here is worth one instant of delay and pain, one moment of uncertainty and doubt. The worthless offer nothing. Certainty of worth cannot be found in worthlessness. Today we practice letting go all thought of values we have given to the world. We leave it free of purposes we gave its aspects and its phases and its dreams. We hold it purposeless within our minds and loosen it from all we wish it were. Thus do we lift the chains that bar the door to freedom from the world and go beyond all its little values and diminished goals. Pause and be still a little while and see how far you rise above the world when you release your mind from chains and let it seek the level where it finds itself at home. It will be grateful to be free a while. It knows where it belongs. But free its wings and it will fly in sureness and enjoy to join its holy purpose. Let it rest with its creator, there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. Give it 10 minutes rest 3 times today. And when your eyes are opened afterwards, you will not value anything you see as much as when you looked at it before. Your whole perspective on the world will shift just a little every time you let your mind escape its chains. The world is not where it belongs, and you belong where it would be, and where it goes to rest when you release it from the world. Your guide is sure. Open your mind to him. Be still and rest. Protect your mind throughout the day as well. And when you think you see some value in an aspect or an image of the world, refuse to lay this chain upon your mind and tell yourself with quiet certainty, this will not tempt me to delay myself. The world I see holds nothing that I want. Wow, y'all. It's interesting. So for those of you who are new to this show, but specifically to the morning show, this is where we talk about the cultivation of the spirit and the intellect. And actually, in this particular show in the morning, so we've got 2 shows, one in the morning, one in the evening. The morning show, it really is kind of a fun practice to integrate the spiritual with the intellectual. So often we look at them in isolated measure. My uncle, he passed away last month. I think it's 4 weeks ago. On Monday, it'll be 4 weeks. And he passed away in his sleep, and it didn't seem like anything was wrong. It was so shocking, I guess is the right word. And he was both a lawyer, but he was also a priest in his local parish. And y'all, I do not think I know anyone who is so cultivated intellectually and also so cultivated spiritually. It's rare. Actually, I will say my darling is like kind of a mystic in some ways, while also being probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. And so it's really an enigma in so many ways. You're like, how can you be so cultivated in the mind and also so cultivated in the spirit? And both of these gentlemen are really an example for us when we think about how to allow for the mind to be so cultivated to solve the most complex problems here in the physical, but also be released from it to then transcend into the spiritual and see the world through God's perspective. Because the value system in the culture that we observe around us, and even every culture there is, the value system is improper considering that we are not physical beings. We are not this flesh and blood that I believe when we die, it's done, it's over. This is in what I have faith in, that this is the beginning. I believe I'm going to see my uncle again. I believe I'm somehow, I don't know how, when, where, why, but I believe I'm going to see my brother-in-law again, who was killed when he was 26 by a drunk driver. I have faith for that. And if we have any faith in the fact that we are not just a physical being, but like when you cut somebody open for heart surgery, you don't find them. You find organs and cells and tissues and muscle and blood, and you don't find the inner essence of the person, their inner being, which adds this dimension of, okay, well, what would it look like to cultivate my inner world that is not physical whatsoever? And so this aspect here, it says at the very end, protect your mind throughout the day. This whole purpose in so many ways is to protect the mind. It's like putting a protective shield around our mind, body, soul, spirit, so that we cultivate what's inside. We're the ones that have the driving, the steering wheel. And we're the ones deciding, I'm going to choose this belief. I'm going to choose that value system. I'm going to choose that thought, rather than letting the past be the ones that dictating, letting culture be the ones that dictate it, letting our competitors or our customers or our colleagues or our pastors or our parents, priests, popes, you name it, letting everyone else externally out there be the ones that define what we think about, what we believe. Are we actually the ones that are making the real decisions for ourselves? Or do we have subconsciously, just like very faintly in the back of our minds, whispers that were handed to us either generationally, either through what was modeled for us? And if I may be so bold, the answer is yes, to some extent. And to what extent, only you and I can answer that. Every single one of us has subconscious narratives about the world, like leafy green vegetables are good. Well, how much have we actually done that research and know it to be true for ourselves versus what was told to us? We can't research every single thing in life, So we do need to benefit from others' knowledge. Thank God for that. It'd be too overwhelming to have to learn every single thing for ourselves. And when it gets to the things that are most important, like our values or our mission, or who are we called to be? Who are we created to be? What is our own potential? We really need to do that work to figure that out for ourselves. So much of the time, our thoughts about the most important things in life are often dictated by others because we have yet to take the time, and it does take time. It takes time to identify what is the old existing current belief system. Where did that come from? What's the genesis of that? And is this current belief system the one that I actually now, as an adult, given the new environment, new setting, new data, upgraded 20 years later, maybe even 50 years later, is this something that I still believe? And if so, awesome, keep going. But it's important to question and examine, because for the most part, most times when I'm engaging with people in the Knowing Retreat or the Knowing Intensive, or even just working with them one-to-one, usually these core beliefs that hold our mind and drive us forward do need to be adjusted based on new information that we ourselves know versus the 30-year-old or the 30-year ago mindset belief system that we held because of an experience we had when we were 12 years old. So it is so critical that we do this work to just sit and consider, even today, as we're doing this exercise of, why do I so value this physical world? Do I believe that there's something after this? And I think that that's really, really important for each one of us to answer. Yesterday, I was just considering there's a biblical concept where it says, he who loses his life for my sake will find it. And I just was thinking, I was like, I think that there's still so many ways in which I don't want to lose my life. I don't want to give up. I don't want to let go of comforts or cares, or, there's still a lot of things that I think I hold on to. I really love my parents. I really, really do. And so that's something where I'm like, would I be willing to lose them? Would I be willing to lose? Honestly, I've already lost a lot. So I guess that's kind of helpful to be stripped away of so many things. And that has been the last like 5 years I lost my home. We had a beautiful farm. It was a former horse ranch, and then we were turning into a farm. It was this beautiful, beautiful home. Lost that. I actually got rid of just like most everything I owned. It's funny, it's the letting go and the releasing ties to these things in the physical. I want to read a section here where it says, today we practice letting go of all thought of values we have given to the world. We leave it behind of purposes we gave it, at its aspects, its phases, and its dreams. We hold it purposeless within our mind and loosen it from all we wish it were. Thus do we lift the chains that bar the door to freedom from the world and go beyond all little values and diminished goals. Y'all, here's a question. How much of the world that we see is simply the world that we wish it were versus what it is? How much are we actually experiencing the reality of the person that we're talking to, the situation in our business, the situation in our family? How much are we actually squaring off with the reality of what is? So we've got a couple of questions for us to contemplate this morning. How much are we actually seeing the truth of what is? How much are our lens, the lens through which we see the world? Like, think of it when you go to the optometrist and you push your face against the dials and they adjust the lenses, and then you're like, oh, I can see clearly now. How much of what we're seeing here in this present moment are our lens adjusted for the past? We're really only filtering the world through the past lenses of our own experiences, versus have we updated our lens to allow ourselves to really see the present for what it is? Are we able to see unfiltered? Are we able to see the purity of the moment? And that's really, really tricky. We'll always be biased in some way, but the extent and degree to which we are is really up to us, and how much we're willing to do the work to listen to other people's perspective and really learn and hear and be taught about this present moment. So that's question number one. How much am I seeing the present moment for the reality that it is? And then the second question that I think is so important for us to consider, because we can only do this exercise recognizing lesson 128, the world I see holds nothing I want. Recognizing that is predicated on the fact of, oh man, there's something greater and more beyond this world. It's recognizing that even the release of this physical world will allow for me to potentially even get to greater depths and greater understanding of God, of even myself, of even other people. I'm listening to a book by Joe Dispenza, Supernatural. And there is something around what science is showing when people are able to get into kind of the greater dimensions of even their own spirit and their own mind to get to the quantum field. The quantum is something I'm going to be studying all next year. It's my birthday's in July, and that's going to be my focus for my next year, which I'm super excited about. But the little bit that I've like dipped my toe into the quantum, it just blows my mind. And there is scientific research and so much data already that proves that there is just so much more than this physical world that we see. So question number one, are we able to even see the present physical moment for what it is? But then question two, do I have faith? Do I believe that there's something even greater than this physical moment? Because if we do, then it's now we can engage with this lesson. Now we can engage with this lesson that allows for us to have this distance between us and the physical moment here right now, and look around and be like, you know what? I recognize that this isn't all there is. I actually don't need to get so caught up in the pain or so caught up in the problems or the gossip or the drama, because this isn't all there is. There's something so much greater and bigger than me. And when we can allow for that to be true, man, we can really, really offer so much more in the moment than maybe we would otherwise if we were getting emotionally caught up in whatever this situation is. I'm just going to go ahead and jump here in the chats. Yoda, good morning. Nathan Jones, good morning. Sean Smith, glad you're here. Lil Rog, good morning. Darth Beaver, good morning. Buffaloes can run up to 35 miles per hour. I would have never guessed that. Oh my gosh. MRTW, good morning. Downed Evil, good morning. James, good morning. Lord Venom, good morning. Thank you, Yoda. I really appreciate that. Thank you, my friends. Z Hillel, good morning. Lyle Sloth, good morning. Preston, thanks for joining. Big Chad, good morning. Where are you from? I grew up in Maryland, actually. Oh, you're in North Carolina. Nice. One Strictly Biz, good morning. Code 001, good morning. I'm glad to see you. Southern Mofo, good morning. Shaquille, good morning. Rob Vine, how are you, my friend? I was sorry to hear about your mom passing away. How are you doing today? I'm so sorry about that. I'm so close with my mom. So for me, I'm like, I cannot imagine. And at the same time, you know, I know that not everyone feels that way about their mom. So I'm just wondering how you're doing. Oh, wow. I just lost my fiance. We have 2 kids. Robin, so wait, your mom passed away and you just lost your fiance. Okay, I feel like I need to get caught up. I'm so sorry. Man, that is so hard. Wow. Hold on, I'm scrolling down. I'm wondering if you share more. I'm okay, but it was my fiance that passed. Wow, Rob Vine, I am so sorry. So it wasn't your mom, it was your fiance. Wow, that is just so devastating. I'm so sorry. You know, one of the things about grief that's so the irony of it, we're not taught how to do grief. We're not taught how to engage in like that depth of emotion. That's so devastating. I'm so sorry, Rob Vine. Is there anything we can do for you? I don't know. How old are your kids? I'd love to know. Just jumping back up here. James, good morning. KMO, good morning. Iram, good morning. James says, do you think God is listening to you? I think he's listening to every single one of us. I think he's in this chat. Will Worthless, good morning. Butters, good morning. Anthony, good morning. Jester, Hyro, Drew, good morning, y'all. Grunt Lima, good morning. Emperor Giorgio, good morning. James says, have you had your coffee yet? No, I'm about to go do that. Commander Cody, I have a lot to learn. Rob Vine says, we have to live in this world until we're called home. Why not enjoy life? I completely agree with you. That's one of the reasons why we started even just like doing trivia for those of you who are new, we do trivia on Wednesday nights. That's part of the reason, to just truly enjoy life. Darling Bennett, good morning. Or Paul Bennett, good morning. TJ, good morning. My kids are 12 and 13. Oh my gosh. So I'm assuming that was that their mom? Man, those sweet kids. If you, Rob Vine, if you don't mind putting their names down, I'd love to just pray for them when I think of them. I really, again, I just cannot imagine losing my mom. So I would love to be praying for your kids and for you. That's so hard. Wow, was that masked man? Good morning. Z Rose, good morning. Y'all, it is wild, talking about today's lesson. The world holds nothing of that, of what I want. I'm so glad, Rob Vine, you brought this up. There's this duality of recognizing that this world doesn't need to hold power over us in terms of, it talks about the chains to the world of, like, if we're so emotionally invested in a dream or so emotionally invested in a career status, or even honestly to what we're talking about this morning, a person, how can we survive when they're gone, or when we don't get the dream, or when we don't get the promotion? How can we still find value? My sister's husband was killed. My husband left. And it's like, well, if my meaning and my worth, my value is tied to that person, how can we live on? My sister's husband was killed when her baby girl was 3 weeks old. So could my sister continue to be a functioning human, much less a good mom? And same for Rob Vine, like being a good father and being a present dad, even in the midst of so much grief. There's this delicate balance of living wholeheartedly and experiencing life. I want to live an experiential life. One of my very favorite song lyrics is, I want to live this one wild life. I want to rip it apart. And so if we want to experience the beauty of this world, there's also this element of, like, living above and apart from it, to see the full perspective, to see with God's eyes, and be reminded that, yes, and this is not all there is. The and is such an important word. That was probably one of my biggest lessons in life, is the power of the conjunction and. The two seemingly opposing truths can coexist, and we can live both well. That I can live stepping back and observing the world, looking at the world through God's eyes, and remembering this is not the end all be all. And also that duality of, man, I want to live life viscerally and experientially and enjoy as much as I possibly can. To allow for both of those to live in concert together could very well be one of the most meaningful ways to live, where my hope is not derived in the physical, yet I enjoy it to such an incredible extent. And it's enjoy. Somebody said that the other day, rather than ENJOY, it's INJOY. Living in joy and enjoying everything that we experience. So I'm so grateful for, Rob Vine, you bringing that perspective, especially in the perspective that you're bringing of just losing your fiance. I just have so much respect for you, my friend, and I cannot imagine. I'm so sorry. And it sounds like you're doing well, but I know for me, waves of grief come, and it's like one big crashing wave of grief, and then another maybe 2 days from now or a week from now. So I'm grateful for you being here. Drew, good morning. Kindness Wall, good morning. Rob Vine says his daughter's name are Jasmine and Anastasia. What beautiful names. Oh, I'm going to save their names. The Beast Within, good morning. Nagesh, good morning, or good evening to you. It sounds like you're coming in the evening on your end. Blue Orca, good morning. Paisley, good morning. Rum is for drinking, not burning. Hello. Resilience is learned, and one foot in front of the other, especially now. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Big Boofin, big thanks to all the moms who double-handedly mow the cucumber fields. Happy Mother's Day. I've never seen a cucumber field. Like, I've seen cucumber plants, but not a field. But yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I want to know what love is. YB, good morning, Anthony. Where are you from? I grew up in Maryland, actually. Gaithersburg, Maryland, for anyone who knows that. Experiential life is done by morality and integrity to yourself. I love that. That's so good. Raw Shiva, we don't talk like that here, but you're more than welcome to stay. JMI, good morning. Rum is for drinking. Okay, Christine, what is this really about? We were talking about actually exactly what kindness just wrote about, effectively the duality of living experientially in the world, but also recognizing, having the kind of the spiritual eyes to recognize that the world, if we place our hope in it, it's going to end up disappointing us. And so how do we kind of live with a step back, seeing the perspective for what it is, but also being able to really enjoy so that we're free. The goal is freedom. The goal is to be able to live in freedom and create as a result, to be co-creators. And yet at the same time, if I am tied up and find my value in this physical world, I forget the fact that, man, if you were to cut up open my physical body, I'm not there. I actually am all of us have a spirit, which is why you can't see you and me when you go to open heart surgery, which is just so fascinating. So it's how do we cultivate every part of ourselves so that we can be really holistic in the way that we engage the world and have the proper value system in the proper things and in the proper places so that we're free. Rob Vine says it's hard to deal with the loss of my fiance, but something is keeping me going. I'm so proud of you. I'm so inspired. I sat with, my sister and her grief, and it was devastating for me too. And I just know the pain to an extent. So I know that what you're going through is incredibly hard, and much less so dealing with two preteens, one teen, one preteen. So just all the love and respect for you, Rob Vine. Wrestling fan, good morning from North London. I'm so glad you're here. Milton, hello from London. I'm so glad you're here. Sai Bao, hello from the Bay Area. Good morning. Saksham, we don't talk like that, so I'm just gonna put you on timeout. James, I'm so glad. Based Saxton, Foud, good morning. Foud Marwaf, good morning. Paul Dixon, Amish, good morning. Biker, good morning. Prime Rays, I'm glad to see you. Biker, where are you from? I grew up in Maryland, actually. It's good to see you. Where are you from? A Whittle, Golosol. The Knowing Show is about the cultivation of the human being and cultivating our intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and physical intelligences. And every morning we go live at 9 a.m. Eastern, and we do the work. Martine, bonjour du Mexique. Good morning. I don't think I said that right. Banging, good morning. The Gray Tone, I'm glad you're here. Kindness in the next 5 years. This is, it's so interesting. Kindness, if you're right, we don't know. This is why we can't put our hope in this physical world, This is why there needs to be hope elsewhere. Osnet, good morning. Paul Dixon, good morning. Y'all, thank you so much for joining on the show this morning. We are going to jump off and conclude our show, but I will be back on again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Let's go.